Welcome to the Mastermind semi-finals with me, Clive Myrie. In the spotlight tonight are Rob Jones, a library assistant whose specialist subject is the Cheltenham Gold Cup from 1960 to the present. Sharon Redding, a former teacher. She'll be answering questions on the films of Sir Ridley Scott. Stephen Dodding, a retired dentist. His subject is the British rock band Genesis from 1967 to 1977. And George Twigg, a clinical trials coordinator, whose subject is the 13th century Norse text, the Prose Edda. Just imagine for a second you're one of our semi-final contenders. The heats are long gone. Now it's a new challenge. Nervous? Full of dread and trepidation? Did you do enough research? Are you up to the task? 2 minutes of rapid-fire questions on your specialist subject and 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Now, add the black chair and the pressure of knowing success means a place in the Mastermind Grand Final, while failure means you go home. There's a lot on the line, and we wish our quizzers well. So, can I ask our first semi-finalist to join us, please? Your name?
Rob Jones.
Your occupation?
Library assistant.
And your specialist subject?
The Cheltenham Gold Cup from 1960 to the present.
The prestigious steeplechase run at the annual Cheltenham Festival in March. In 2 minutes. Let's go. In 2009, Corto Star became the first horse to regain the Cheltenham Gold Cup, having won it in 2007 and then finishing runner-up in 2008. Behind which horse?
Stedman.
Yes. What was the starting price of Norton's Coin, who became the longest-priced winner in the history of the race when successful in 1990?
100 to 1.
Yes, in 2006, for the first time in the race's history, the first 3 finishers were all trained in Ireland. The winner by Mouse Morris, the runner-up by Willie Mullins, and the third-placed horse by which other trainer?
Hourigan.
No, Michael O'Brien. Which jockey won his 3rd Gold Cup in 5 years when he rode Galopin des Champs? 2. Victory in the 2023 race, having previously ridden Album Photo in back-to-back wins in 2019 and 2020.
Paul Townend.
Paul Townend, yes. Which horse finished 5th behind Brigorn, Captain John, Wayward Lad and Silver Buck to give the trainer, Michael Dickinson, the top 5 places in the 1983 race?
Ashley House.
Yes. Which amateur jockey won the Gold Cup in 1981, riding Little Owl, whom he co-owned with his brother?
Jim Wilson.
Yes. Which horse, one of the few non-geldings in steeplechasing, sired the 1968 and 72 Gold Cup winners, Fort Leany and Glencarrig Lady?
Sholokov.
No, Fortina. What was the name of the amateur jockey who rode the outsider Foxbury in the 1984 Gold Cup, becoming the first female rider to take part in the race?
Linda Sheedy.
Yes, which horse became only the 4th mare to win the race when she caught and passed Wayward Lad in the closing stages in 1986?
Dawn Run.
Yes, which Gold Cup winning former jockey also finished 2nd in the race once and 3rd 6 times, most recently when riding the favourite Florida Pearl in the 1999 race?
Dunwoody.
Yes, which horse who retired in 2018 fell at the 3rd last fence when in contention for the 2016 race and did so again at the same fence the following year?
Q-Card.
Yes, Master Smudge was awarded the 1980 Gold Cup weeks after the race following... I've started, so I'll finish. Weeks after the race following the disqualification of the original winner, Tide Cottage, when a urine test revealed the presence of caffeine and what other banned substance?
Theobromine.
Yes, it was theobromine. Rob, you had no passes at the end of that round. You've got 10 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. Your name?
Sharon Redding.
Your occupation?
Former teacher.
And your specialist subject?
The films of Sir Ridley Scott.
The feature films of the acclaimed British director. In 2 minutes, let's go. In Gladiator, as the Roman general Maximus prepares his legionaries for battle against the German tribes, he commands them, at my signal, unleash what?
Hell.
Yes. What's the name of the ship's computer in Alien that both Dallas and Ripley consult in a vain attempt to find out how to destroy the xenomorph creature?
Mother?
Yes, in House of Gucci, Maurizio presents the businessman Namir Kirdar with a pair of shoes that his uncle Aldo Gucci later identifies as being the same style as those once ordered for which actor?
Robert De Niro.
No, Clark Gable. Which Grammy Award-winning singer performs the title song during the end credits of Someone to Watch Over Me?
Roberta Flack.
Yes, in Blade Runner, Roy Batty tells Deckard, "I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. I've watched C-beams glitter in the dark near the what?"
Seas of Orion.
No, Tannhauser Gate. In G.I. Jane, Jordan O'Neill and the other Navy SEAL candidates are sent for survival, evasion, resistance and escape training to which island off the coast of Florida?
Catalonia.
No, Captiva Island. In Thelma and Louise, Louise's boyfriend Jimmy tells her that she's registered at the Vagabond Motel in Oklahoma City. Under what code name?
Peaches.
Yes, in Legend, Princess Lily asks her woodland friend Jack o' the Green to teach her the language of what creatures?
Unicorns.
No, rabbits. Scott's 2001 film Black Hawk Down is based on a best-selling 1999 book by which American journalist and author?
Peters.
No, Mark Bowden, as he shows his grandson Paul around ancient ruins in the Italian capital. In All the Money in the World, John Paul Getty claims to be the reincarnation of which Roman emperor?
Hadrian.
Yes. In White Squall, which member of the youthful crew of the Albatross floating school is described by his shipmate Dean as the glue that holds everyone together?
Chuck E.
Yes, the title character in American Gangster, Frank Lucas, first comes to the attention of the Narcotics Task Force leader Richie Roberts after he's seen shaking hands with which real-life heavyweight boxer?
Joe Louis.
It is Joe Louis. And Sharon, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 7 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. Your name,
Stephen Dodding,
your occupation,
retired dentist.
and your specialist subject.
Genesis, 1967 to 1977.
The early years of the pioneering British rock band before their transition to pop music. In 2 minutes, let's go. When the group formed as Genesis at Charterhouse School in 1967, who was the original drummer in the band, who left the following year and later became an acclaimed writer?
Chris Stewart.
Yes, at a concert in Aylesbury in June 1971, Peter Gabriel jumped off the stage and broke his ankle while performing which song?
The Knife.
Yes. What's the title of the song from the Foxtrot album, which was a regular opener for the band's live shows from 1972 to 74, when Gabriel would often walk on stage wearing a black costume and bat wings?
Watcher of the Skies.
Yes. What was the name of the artist who adapted her painting The Dream to be used on the cover of the album, Selling England by the Pound?
Betty Swanick.
Yes. The song, inspired by a news story about East End gang fights, featuring characters such as Liquid Len, the Barking Slugs, and the Bethnal Green Butcher, is entitled The Battle of Where?
Epping Forest.
Yes, the group's first UK top 30 hit single, I Know What I Like in Your Wardrobe, had what song on the B-side?
Seven Stones.
No, Twilight Alehouse. The 1976 album A Trick of the Tail, which established Phil Collins as the band's lead vocalist, was recorded at which London studios?
Trident.
Yes, which Tony Banks song on the Wind and Wuthering album was partly inspired by Michael Moorcock's novel Phoenix in Obsidian?
One for the Vine.
Yes, the song Harold the Barrel on the 1971 album Nursery Crime is about the disappearance of a restaurant owner, last seen in a mouse brown overcoat, who's from which English seaside town?
Bognor.
Bognor Regis, yes. Which song recorded at Richard Branson's Manor Studio in Oxford was released in the UK as a single in May 1972, but at the time did not appear on any studio album?
Happy the Man.
Yes, the 1973 Genesis live album, which reached #9 in the UK chart, was recorded at 2 main locations, Manchester Free Trade Hall and which venue in Leicester?
De Montfort Hall.
Yes, the 3 tracks featured on the 1977 EP Spot the Pigeon are Match of the Day, Pigeons, and what other song?
Inside and Out.
It is Inside and Out. Stephen, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 11 points.
Thank you.
And our final contender, please. name,
George Twig.
your occupation,
Clinical Trials Coordinator.
and your specialist subject.
Prose Edda.
The 13th century Icelandic text, also known as Snorri's Edda, which provides a detailed compendium of Norse mythology and skaldic poetry. In 2 minutes, let's go. What collective name is generally used in the Prose Edda for the main Norse gods, including Odin and Thor?
Aesir.
Yes, what's the usual name of the giant Fauboti's beautiful son, whom some call slanderer of the gods, the source of deceit, and the disgrace of all gods and men?
Loki.
Yes, in the Gylfaginning, or the deluding of Gylfi, when King Gylfi of Sweden questions the 3 chieftains of the Aesir about their knowledge and power, he adopts what name?
Gangleri.
Yes, in relation to battles, half of the slain belong to Odin and the other half to which goddess, whose home in heaven is called Folkvangar, or Warriors' Fields?
Freya.
Yes, in the Skalskar Parmal, metaphors such as horse of the sea for a ship or breaker of timber for the wind are examples of what type of poetic diction used throughout the Prose Edda and distinguished by modern scholars from the synonyms called Haiti.
Kenning.
Yes, what name is given to the field stretching for 100 leagues in each direction, which is the site of Ragnarok, the final contest between the Aesir and their enemies?
Vigrid.
Yes, Thor was on one occasion absent from the Aesir's home in Asgard because he was away in the east hammering on what creatures?
Trolls.
Yes, what fruit which Ithen, the wife of the god Bragi, keeps in a wooden box enables the gods to regain their youth when they begin to grow old?
Apples.
Yes, the fight of the Hyathonings, also called the never-ending battle, because at dawn the dead rose up to fight again, took place on an island in which archipelago?
Orkney.
Yes, which of Hraethmar's sons turns himself into a serpent and lays down on the huge pile of gold in his lair, where he's killed by Sigurd the Volsung?
Fafnir.
Yes, as mentioned in the Lay of Grinir, Hrist, Mist, Skeggield and Skogul, who all serve in Valhalla, are among the women known by what collective name?
Valkyries.
Yes, Gleipnir, the final fetter. I've started, so I'll finish. Gleipnir, the final fetter used to bind the wolf Fenrir, was made from 6 elements, including the noise of a cat's footsteps, the breath of a fish, and the roots of a what?
Mountain.
It is mountain. George, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 12 points. And at the end of the specialist subjects round in this semi-final, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 7 points, it's Sharon. In 3rd place with 10 points, it's Rob. In 2nd place with 11 points sits Stephen, and in 1st place with 12 points, it's George. So now, the general knowledge round, and if there's a tie at the end, then the number of passes is taken into account, and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, then it's a tie break. So let's ask Sharon to join us again, please. Sharon, you start with 7 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. Which Scottish mountain is the highest peak in the British Isles?
Ben Nevis.
Yes. In the acronym NATO, the last 2 letters stand for Treaty Organisation. What do the initials NA stand for?
North Atlantic.
Yes, in March 2023, the athlete Ailish McColgan broke Paula Radcliffe's long-standing British record with a time of 30 minutes, 0.86 seconds, in a race over what distance?
10K.
Yes, 10,000 metres. What term, an Italian word meaning bound or tied, is an instruction to play a piece of music smoothly and connectedly?
Adagio.
No, legato. In 1956, Bedloes Island in New York Harbour was officially given what new name?
Catalina.
No, Liberty Island. Which Greek mythical king was given donkey's ears by Apollo after he favoured Pan in a music contest between the 2 gods?
Zeus.
No, Midas. What well-known poem by Edgar Allan Poe begins with the line, "Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary"?
The Raven.
Yes. What alliterative name is given to substances such as ammonium carbonate that, because of their pungent odour, were once used as a stimulant to revive people who'd fainted?
Smelling salts.
Yes. What's the surname of the songwriting brothers, Robert and Richard, known for their work at Disney on films such as Mary Poppins and The Jungle Book?
Kaufman.
No, Sherman. The Prophet Muhammad was born around AD 570 in which city in Saudi Arabia?
Abu Dhabi?
No, Mecca. Between 1997 and 2009, which Irish rock band had UK #1 albums entitled Pop, All That You Can't Leave Behind, and No Line on the Horizon?
U2.
Yes, which Conservative former UK Prime Minister was born in Eastbourne in 1956, the daughter of Hubert and Zadie Brazier?
Theresa May?
Yes, which actor played Ross Geller in the television sitcom Friends between 1994 and 2004?
David Schwimmer?
Yes, the construction of which theatre opened on the Strand in London in 1881 was commissioned by the impresario Richard D'Oyly Carte, principally to stage the works of Gilbert and Sullivan.
Savoy?
Yes, what small termite-eating marsupial, native to Australia, is sometimes known as the banded anteater?
Tasmanian Devil?
No, numbat. In finance, the act of putting shares in a privately owned company up for sale to the public on a stock exchange for the first time is called an IPO, which, in this context, stands for Initial Public What?
Offer?
Yes, I'll accept offering. The practice of depilation is the removal of what feature of the human body?
Skin?
No, it's hair. So, Sharon, you had no passes at the end of that round. You've got 17 points.
Thank you, Clive.
Next up, it's Rob. Rob, you start with 10 points. The score to beat as it stands is 17 points, and you've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. The daily newspapers Bild, Die Welt and Der Tagesspiegel are published in which European country?
Germany.
Yes, what song by John Lennon features the recurring lines, "You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one"?
Imagine.
Yes, in the NATO phonetic alphabet, the letter V is represented by what boy's name?
Victor.
Yes, which ancient Chinese philosopher's birthday is traditionally commemorated on the 28th of September in both China and Taiwan?
Confucius.
Yes, which valley in California lies between the Panamint Range to its west and the Amargosa Range to its east?
Death Valley.
Yes, in July 2023, which Czech tennis player became the first unseeded competitor to win the Wimbledon ladies singles title?
Korda.
No, Vondrousova. What word from the Greek for star-like is believed to have first been used by the astronomer William Herschel in 1802 to refer to a small planetary body that revolves around the sun?
Uranus.
No, asteroid. Which author, who was ordained as a Buddhist priest in 2010, won the 2022 Women's Prize for Fiction for her novel, The Book of Form and Emptiness?
Kingsolver.
No, Ruth Ozeki. The positive numbers that are factors of 8, as well as 1 and 8 itself, are 2 and what other number?
4.
Yes, which actress, comedian and writer married the actor Adrian Edmondson in 1985?
Jennifer Saunders.
Yes, in jazz music, what term refers to a style of singing improvised nonsense words and syllables, particularly in patterns similar to a musical instrument solo?
Scat.
Yes, which English city in the East Midlands is noted for its annual Goose Fair, which dates back to the 13th century?
Nottingham.
Yes, the actress and activist for Native American rights, Sachin Littlefeather, who died in 2022, appeared on stage at the Academy Awards ceremony in 1973 to make a speech declining an Oscar on behalf of which actor?
Marlon Brando.
Yes, what word from the French for pasting or gluing refers to both the technique and the resulting work of art in which fragments of paper and other materials are arranged and fixed to a supporting surface?
Mosaic.
No, collage. Buckland Abbey in Devon was the family home of which Elizabethan explorer and privateer from the early 1580s until his death in 1596.
Drake.
Yes, copra, a source of oil used in the production of soap and margarine, is extracted from which edible fruit that grows on a certain species of palm tree?
Date.
No, it's coconut. Rob, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 21 points.
Thank you.
Next up, it's Stephen. Stephen, you start with 11 points. The score to beat as it stands is 21 points, and you've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. Which famous football stadium in northwest London was reopened in 2007 after a complete rebuild and has a seating capacity of 90,000?
Tottenham?
No, Wembley Stadium. The charitable organisation Marie Curie uses what spring flower in its logo?
Daffodil.
Yes, the Spanish term vino tinto refers to what colour wine?
Red wine.
Yes, the album entitled Her Loss, which topped the UK chart in 2022, is a collaboration between the rapper 21 Savage and which Canadian singer?
Drake?
Yes, at the 2023 Olivier Awards, who won the prize for Best Actor for his performance as Stanley Kowalski in A Streetcar Named Desire?
Mark Rylance?
No, Paul Mescal. The headquarters of UNESCO are in which European capital city?
Geneva?
No, Paris. Wilfred Owen's poem Dulce et Decorum Est takes its title from a Latin phrase by which Roman poet who lived in the 1st century BC?
Ovid?
No, Horace. Which politician secured a 3rd term as president of Turkey with victory in an election held in May 2023?
Erdogan.
Yes. Which American cable television channel began broadcasting in August 1981, initially in the New Jersey area only, launching with the words, ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll?
Pass.
When it's absorbed into the human body, the red-orange pigment beta-carotene, which gives certain fruits and vegetables their colour, is converted into which vitamin?
A.
Yes, Sir Thomas Wyatt, a 16th century landowner from Kent, led an unsuccessful rebellion of 3,000 men against which English queen?
Mary I.
Yes, quicklime, which is widely used in the construction industry, is a compound of calcium and which other element?
Phosphate?
No, Oxygen. A musical piece entitled The Dance of the Cuckoos was adopted as a theme tune by which comedy duo who rose to fame in the silent film era?
Laurel and Hardy?
Yes, in Greek mythology, the twin sons of Leda, the Queen of Sparta, both of whom later became identified with the constellation Gemini, were called Castor and what?
Pollux?
Yes. Which former Radio 1 DJ hosted his first afternoon show on Radio 2 in October 2022, taking over from Steve Wright?
Vernon Kay?
No, Scott Mills. The name of what insect precedes the word orchids in the common name for members of the genus Phalaenopsis, which have long-lasting flower spikes and are popular as houseplants?
B.
No, moth. What's the title of the only opera composed by Beethoven?
Fidelio.
It is Fidelio. Stephen, you had just the one past the American cable television channel that began broadcasting in 1981, launching with the words, ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll, MTV.
Of course.
At the end of that round, Stephen, you've got 20 points.
Thank you.
And finally, let's have George again, please. George, you start with 12 points. The score to beat to get through to the Mastermind Grand Final is Rob's 21 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. In a common expression, someone who pays attention to detail is said to dot the I's and cross which other letters?
T's.
Yes, in gambling, the term snake eyes refers to a score on a pair of dice in which each of them shows what number?
1.
Yes, which British group had the UK Christmas #1 single in 1994 with Stay Another Day?
He's 17.
Yes, in March 2023, King Charles III granted his younger brother Edward what title, which had previously been held by their father?
Duke of Edinburgh.
Yes, in what 1976 film do Barbara Harris and Jodie Foster play a mother and daughter who swap bodies for one day?
Freaky Friday.
Yes, the Valdivia earthquake in 1960, the most powerful ever recorded, struck which South American country?
Chile.
Yes, which broadcaster was announced as the permanent presenter of the television game show Countdown in 2023, having hosted regularly since Anne Robinson's departure from the programme the previous summer?
Nikua.
No, Colin Murray. What alternative religious-sounding name for the European mantis is derived from the insect's typically upright posture with raised and folded front legs?
Praying mantis.
Yes, the airport commonly known as Haneda and designated by the international code HND is a few miles south of which Asian capital city?
Tokyo.
Yes, what's the name of the Irish politician who in 2018 succeeded Gerry Adams as president of Sinn Féin?
Mary Lou McConnell.
No, Mary Lou McDonald. Ma Long and Zhang Jike have won Olympic gold medals for China in which indoor sports?
Table tennis.
Yes. What English name is given to the area where the Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center was established near Moscow in the 1960s?
The Urals.
No, Star City. The word trig is an informal abbreviation for the name of what branch of mathematics?
Trigonometry.
Yes. What was the surname of the circus impresario born in Connecticut in 1810 who had the forenames Phineas Taylor?
P.T. Barnum.
Yes. What name for a type of necktie is derived from a French word meaning Croatian? Because they were worn by Croat soldiers in the 30 Years' War.
Cravat.
Yes, the NHS organ donor register in the UK allows individuals to agree to donate various parts of the body, including what tissue at the front of each eye?
Retinal tissue.
No, cornea. Charlie Fortnum, the minor British diplomat living in Argentina, is the title character of what 1973 novel by Graham Greene?
Our Man in Havana.
No, the honorary consul. Which musical note? I've studied, so I'll finish. Which musical note, known in North America as a quarter note, has half the time value of a minim?
Crotchet.
It is a crotchet. So, George, at the end of that round, you've got no passes. And you've done it. You've got 25 points.
Thank you.
So, let's have a look at the final scores. In fourth place with 17 points, it's Sharon. In third place with 20 points, it's Stephen. In second place with 21 points, it's Rob. And in first place with 25 points, it's George, which means he goes through to the grand final. Congratulations to him. If you'd like to be a contender in the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us at Mastermind Quiz. Join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
I feel good. I came home in a little bit of a weird mood from the heat because although I won, I underperformed on the general knowledge round compared to what I was capable of. So this was the performance that I wanted back then. So yeah, I'm really chuffed about that.
Your occupation?
Clinical trials coordinator.
And your specialist subject?
The Prose Edda.
The 13th century Icelandic text?
I was inspired to pick the Prose Edda as my specialist subject today because I have a long-standing interest in Norse mythology. I studied a little bit of it in my English literature degree at university, and I've got a lot of friends who are into it as well. Kenning.
Yes.
Trolls.
Yes.
Apples.
Yes.
My partner helped me prepare. I made about 2,500 flashcards to help me revise Norse mythology. Mountain.
It is mountain.
She's been really good just testing me on those and testing me on other quizzes like general knowledge stuff. And so I'm sure she's going to be really delighted to have to go through all that again.
You've done it. You've got 25 points.
As for what it would mean to me to take home the glass bowl, it's not something I've really thought about because I didn't think I would get this far. Honestly, my biggest consideration would probably be trying to find some place to put it in the house.